right, folks, here we are, another episode of On the Delo, and I have my good friend Doug in today. This is episode 179, and yes, you've been hearing that. I always say it every time. You've been hearing that funky music every time. It comes with the board, Doug.
I love it.
Isn't that great? It's rock and roll.
It's you playing, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. Although you and I have, we've been on some trip. Well, one trip. Have we been on a couple trips? I don't even remember at this point.
Lake Powell.
Lake Powell. That was fun. And you brought your guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I brought my guitar too.
We all did. Yeah. Mike Logan, you and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Well, that was fun.
Welcome. I'm excited to have you. You have a story to tell. You've been around for a while. You've done a lot of amazing things. And I think just beyond a friendship level, I do feel that it's important to get that story out. So let's talk. Let's talk like origin story. Like when did you come from Mexico City? Like when did this all start?
So I moved to the United States in 1983.
Okay.
From Mexico City to San Antonio, Texas. Yeah. Basically, I moved abruptly from Mexico. My dad uprooted us and brought us to the United States, and grew up in Texas. And from there, I went to school out there, moved around. I lived in California, Miami, Texas, and Arizona, and obviously Mexico. And, when I was going through college, I was working on my undergrad in psychology and, was already in the industry. I've been working in the industry in the restaurant business since I was, 16.
Yeah. And
going to college, I was not seeing the vision of pursuing, what I was studying.
Yeah.
So, my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, we sat down and kind of mapped out what we wanted to do. And I said, I want to be a chef. And, next thing I know, she bought me a book, Becoming a Chef. And we started researching where to go to school. We want to go to a good school, but we didn't necessarily want to go to the East Coast. So at the time, there was this small culinary school in Scottsdale, Arizona, Scottsdale Culinary Institute, and which is what brought us out here.
Yeah.
With the intention of moving to like San Francisco and, want to go work with, the chefs in San Francisco, travel around and do that. That was in 1996, and we're still here. So we never left. And part of the reason was after culinary school, I got a job working at the Phoenician with Robert McGrath. Mm-hmm. And then he went and opened Roaring Fork and recruited me to go work with him. So I was a sous chef over there. Worked with him for a little while, and then I ended up working at Michael's at the Citadel back in the day in Pima. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, way up there.
Wow.
But at the time,
was there dirt roads then, or what?
Just about.
Yeah,
just about. It was. It used to take me 45 minutes to get to work.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was a bunch of really young, talented chefs that Michael DeMaria had, recruited. Matt Carter, Adam Shop, Patrick Fagan, myself. There was just, Tammy Coe, just a powerhouse of people.
Wow.
We were all very young, and we were very driven, and were aspiring to do French Laundry style food. So, Michael's was the place to do it.
How old were you at this time?
I was 25.
25. And what were you, like 11 when you moved to the States?
I was 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that transition like for you? Like
very difficult.
Yeah. Did you even know English at the time? Yeah.
Barely.
So you're 11 years old learning English for the first time
Yeah.
and trying to get acclimated to a new country.
So I was one of the kids that automatically enrolled in English as a second language,
Yeah.
since, from at the time I was in I think fourth grade, all the way up till eighth grade.
Yeah.
No, seventh grade. I was in English as a second language, and then finally I caught up. So I did struggle academically because of the fact that I didn't speak the language.
Right.
Socially, when I first moved to the States, obviously San Antonio has a pretty large, population of Hispanic Latinos. So I ended up going straight and making friends with the Latinos and all that because they spoke my language.
Yeah, and they probably spoke the other English too.
Yeah. So which was very odd, because when you look at me, I'm a white kid.
Bro, you're as white as they get.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
And so like people are like, you don't speak English? Like, no, like I don't. So it was kind of awkward stages, but eventually I you adapt and you learn the ways of the land, and you start kind of diversifying your friends, and which is I think actually a great skill set to be able to relate to a vast amount of people.
If we're not in love with the differences, then what are we doing? Why does everything have to be the same?
This makes things very
so uninteresting.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about your wife because I absolutely adore her, and she's a very loving and giving person. Just you feel the energy just even when you're in her presence. So what a beautiful gift to give you based on the fact that you had a dream and you had something and it wasn't like, oh, you're going to do that. I think that's an amazing thing. And so when did you all, where did you meet and how did that happen?
So I met my wife knocked at my door at 2 a.m. She was with a mutual friend of ours who was looking for my best friend who actually lived across, it's a duplex.
Yeah.
And they wanted to wish him a happy birthday. And obviously, this is 21, 22 years old. And, back when we used to actually go out and stay out late and do those kind of things.
Sneak out the window if we had
to. So she came knocking on the door, and right off the bat, I really, I was like, wow, who's this girl? And so the next day I was actually working a double at Tony Roma's. It was Mother's Day, May 10th.
Ribs night.
May 10th of 1993.
Okay.
And I said, he's not here, but we're working a double tomorrow, so come and have lunch with us around 3. And she came the next day, and after that, like I was on my A game. I did all my funniest bits, and was on my best behavior, and we started hanging out, and created a really strong friendship. It was the first girl that like literally I was like, all right, she really captivated my attention, and found her very interesting, and it was like basically playing above my above my game. She was strikingly beautiful, smart, put together, and which is very different from the girls that I've dated before that.
Yeah.
And so we just created this really strong bond and friendship. And at the time, like I said, I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. She was already finished with school. She was bachelor's in science and nursing. So from there, I really wanted this girl, and I wanted to make a life with her. So I really had to figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So we sat down in front of my steps of my apartment, and we just decided, like, hey, I want to be a chef. And she's like, let's do it. And since then, like literally when I finished culinary school, I worked at the Phoenician. I was making $7.35 an hour. And
people working there are still making that amount.
Yeah, it's scary. Hopefully they pay more, but the reality is part of the conversation that we had is that the road that I was going to take was not going to be the easy road. And it's going to be a lot of hours, working holidays, working weekends. So, she was okay with that. And I finished culinary school in 1997. from 1997 till 2004-ish, I made less than $40,000 a year. And sometimes even less than that, because I really wanted to work at this place, and but that's the journey of a chef is it's not going to be the Benjamins,
No, and I'm sure although you were making little money, you were gaining a ton in experience and knowledge, and just basically you're paying extra for education.
Exactly.
And then you get that. So when did you? I know you did a lot prior, but when did you both kind of get the inkling? You go and you talk to your wife, and you're like, you know what, I want to do our own place.
So the dream was always to open my own restaurant.
Yeah.
Even before I went to culinary school, I said I really would love to open a restaurant one day. But in order for me to do that, I felt like I really needed to log the hours and the time. I did. Fine dining. I did, the resort businesses, those kind of things. But when I was at Michael's, and this is right around 2002, the economy was not necessarily where it needed to be. 9/11 had just happened.
Right, yeah. Here we are, 9/11 today.
Yeah. 9/11 happened, and I remember that day. It was 9/11, and I went to work. And the rezos, we always had this whiteboard with the rezos for the night. And they started around 394 reservations. By the time service started, it was down to like 20 people.
Wow.
So the world stopped. And at that point, I once again, the goal was to open my own restaurant. At that point, I had worked at Michael's. I learned everything that I need to learn from them. And I, accidentally met Bob Lynn, who's the founder of LGO Hospitality, through Tammy Coe, who opened Tammy Coe Bakery inside LGO. And for whatever reason, the universe brought me, to that venue. Bob Lynn offered me the job as the executive chef. It was my first executive chef job. I had been a sous chef, but, obviously went to culinary school. But, I was a greenhorn.
Yeah.
I really didn't know a lot.
You literally jumping in the fire.
I jumped straight into the fire over my head. When we opened LGO, I would go to work around 5 a.m. because we opened at breakfast.
Yeah.
And I would leave around 11 o'clock at night, 6 days a week for 2 years.
Yeah.
And just grinding it out. And, I was learning a lot, because one of the things that I was looking for in my next employer was somebody that was going to show me and give me the skill set to run my own shop, because that was the goal. And they were very true. Craig DeMarco and Chris DeMarco, along with Bob Lynn and Ann Lynn at the time, they really invested a lot of time in me. And I was one of those chefs that a lot of ego, which I think can help you in self-preservation, but sometimes it hurts you in personal growth. And once I started chipping away at the egos, because chefs are not always right, as much as we think we are.
Yeah.
I had to really relearn the business, because LGO was, a juggernaut. And, the vision there was, hey, we want to build something for the community. We want to do high volume. We want to, execute well. And I had to change my mindset from this fine dining perspective, which can be very wasteful, and just you care about the plate up, but you're throwing away so many components of that plate just to make the plate look pretty.
It's a different world, isn't it?
It's a different world.
Yeah.
And then going into this neighborhood restaurant, it's about comfort. It's about feeding the community. I ended up changing, and which I'm glad because that's what I needed. Because when I went out to open my own restaurant, I didn't want to do fine dining.
Right.
I mean, I wanted to do Mexican food. I wanted to do fucking tacos. Pardon my French.
No, you can say fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of reverting into my next question, because you look at all the different stuff, and I had Corey from Course on here just recently, and it's like, that's the epitome of fine dining, right?
Yeah.
That's like what that guy wants to do.
Totally.
But you have you're very interconnected and tied to your, to your roots and to your heritage, and you share all that and you love it. And I think it's beautiful. I love like seeing all actually, I can't wait to go to your place in Greer in the afternoon and have a nice meal. But to be able to, I'm sure that was a dream of yours to bring that into your restaurant eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so tell us about that. Like, well, first of all, tell me about the turnstile of LGO, because what an amazing place to just turn out so many chefs. I think Dom was there, right?
Yeah, a lot of chefs. Aaron Chamberlain, Dom. I mean, when LGO opened, one, it was an anomaly to put something like that in the neighborhood, and then to have the style of you bringing the attention to detail of of the ingredient, like very California-ish, with health and but yet approachable. We had a lot of really talented people come through, and from there, when Bob and Craig said, "Hey, we're going to open Chelsea's Kitchen. We're going to expand the pizzeria. We're going to do things in California." I was very scared at first because they're bringing in, other chefs, different chefs, and but at the same time, I looked at it and go, well, I love collaborating with chefs, and I can learn a lot from other chefs and develop these great relationships with them, and we did, and I think what LGO taught me was the ability to collaborate is extremely important.
Yeah.
And collaboration without concessions, because I think that there's in something with creativity, there's always somebody going to be the final force and the final say so.
Yeah.
Which wasn't me at that point, because I'm just a tool or somebody that helps execute somebody's vision, because obviously this is the vision of
you're part of the machine.
Yeah, I'm part of the machine. But when you maintain the standard, maintain the vision of like excellence, whatever that is, and then be able to execute it and bring it to life, it's very rewarding, and I now to this day, everything that I do, I collaborate with people. Obviously, I know what I want, and and I'm not going to like settle for something that's not going to be
right,
good. But part of that collaborativeness is allowing other creative people to have a say so in that, because there's a lot of chefs who work for companies that here's the recipe, you follow it, you execute it, and that's fine for you need that. But at the same time, for me, what I need is a team to be able to like, hey, here's some ideas. Let's do this. Let's do that. What about a Basque cheesecake? Or, and then we start spitballing it and creating, and then we test out recipes.
Isn't that more fun?
It is. It is. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Then I'm king, and here's what you're going to make, and not stray off of this.
It's like playing guitar by yourself. Yeah, it's fun. But when you can play with somebody else and you're doing 100%. That call and response, and you start really syncing and be able to create music together, it's magical.
Well, and that includes the audience. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like when these bands, they go out and they play and they're getting that reverberation back. And I've known a lot of famous artists that tell me all the same thing. I'm like, aren't you, I'm kind of being sarcastic, but I'm like, aren't you sick of like singing Pour Some Sugar on Me for the 9 millionth time? And he's just like, no, he goes, when I get up there, it's like this energy coming back to me. And I have to assume that it's the same in the chef world. When you get patrons that come in and enjoy your food and give you those compliments and tell you about those things, that's your audience.
Our audience is extremely important. and I do think that you have to be careful with feedback.
Yeah.
But with that said, I mean, at the end of the day, our guests are the ones that sign our paychecks, So if your guests are not coming back or they're not
Right.
enjoying the service you're providing, you only have you to look at and self-reflect on, like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, and words are words, but I really think the proof is in how many times are they coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate where, our restaurants, we see patrons 3-4 times a week.
It's great.
And that was kind of one of the lessons with LGO was, there was a saying that we always floated around, which was, would you rather feed the kings and live like the masses, or feed the masses and live like the kings?
Mm.
And I'm like, I don't want to be a king.
Right, but
you
get the analogy, right?
The analogy is important, huge.
Yeah.
So once again, like I see a lot of chefs that become very stuck in their repertoire or how they do things, and they have a very small audience, and then they wonder why they don't get customers in their stores.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're still doing the food from 1993, and like it's 2006, and
Innovate, baby.
yeah, you gotta sharpen that knife and make sure that you're practicing your skill set and evolving, to that. And I'm not talking about, copying people, but really to be in tune with, what are people eating these days?
Nobody's eating kale anymore.
Yeah.
That went.
Whew.
Right.
Thank God.
And I thought LGO's saying was, create a space with no parking and they will come.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
Still bewilders.
that to me was, I remember when we had a conversation, and at the time, we had just opened. It was 6 months into opening, and we had a strategic meeting, and Bob's like, I'm going to turn this into, an $8 million operation in the next 5 years. And I'm like, wow. He's like, yeah, how you going to do that with no parking? And
he did it.
He did it.
Yeah.
And he did it because, once again, the density was there. You're in a neighborhood.
Smart.
You win them over,
Yep.
and you have a loyal customer for life. And, now, if you look at LGO, the thing that the beauty of LGO, whether, some people, may not like the food or whatever, but what the beauty of it is that it changed the neighborhood. You literally have people jogging, cycling, walking, like to this place, which is created kind of this feel of you're in a big city now.
And it's become their kitchen.
Yeah.
They really feel like it's theirs. They're going to go there for breakfast and maybe later on grab a salad for dinner
Grab
or
their
whatever
coffee.
it is. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a convenience thing.
It is. So, that to me is a testament of what was created there. With my shops, I've always chosen what people would consider B locations.
Yeah.
But what I was looking for is, maybe a B location right now, but how's it going to be in 5 years?
Well, your locations also have character,
They do.
And let's talk about what locations do you have now, and what was the first one that you had opened for the audience to just kind of know?
So my first restaurant was Gallo Blanco.
Yep.
I opened that in 2009 inside the Clarendon Hotel.
Yeah.
And at the time, in the bottom of a recession, there was a lot of real estate out there, very inexpensive. I opened my first restaurant with $65,000.
Unheard of.
Yeah. And that's like doing the construction. I built all the tables myself.
Wow.
Did the construction with me. At the time when they closed the restaurant inside the Clarendon, there was still staff that was working there. And I said, hey, I'm going to need to hire cooks. So if any of you guys want to help me build this restaurant, when we finish building it, you have a job.
Yeah.
And so I kept the whole staff, and we still have 5 of the same people that helped me are still in there, and they're key holders in the company.
That's amazing.
So that was Gallo 1.0, and unfortunately, time ran out on that space, and there was two separate visions of what the hotel and what I wanted to, do, and they went in a different direction. And at that point, I walked away. It was very abrupt for most people in the community. Most people didn't, because it was announced in like less than 20 days that they were closing.
Yeah.
And this is walking away from a very, very successful restaurant. And so I closed it down and focused my time my time and energy on Otro. I opened Otro Café on 2013 and closed Gallo 1.0 in 2015.
Okay.
And then soon after I closed Gallo, I had a lot of real estate people reaching out to me. Hey, I have a spot if you want to reopen. And at the time, I was in a point in my life where I wasn't happy, personally and professionally. So I took my time to really just, unravel what was causing my unhappiness. Part of the problem is I'm a workaholic. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there is a chef sometimes. We tend to be very controlling and very OCD, which makes us really good at what we do, but it makes us really shitty at leadership. Yeah. Because you're not really allowing space for people to help make decisions. So I was grinding it out, working, 60 plus hours, and I don't mind putting the hours, but when I'm literally sitting there, afraid to leave my restaurant because I don't want things to go wrong.
So familiar with this feeling.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's the wrong mentality.
It's no way to live.
No way to live. Yeah. So I, at that point, like I said, I've had some people that have worked with me for many years, over a decade. And I said, I need to put faith in them and give them the autonomy to develop their own skill set, because they're smart and they want to do it. They've raised their hand, and I'm the one getting in the way.
Well, and let them make the mistakes,
Totally.
And I don't want to say congratulate them on it, but you learn together from it,
Totally.
And you don't criticize for it.
Totally.
And that's what builds them up. And I've done the same thing with my staff here. But 10 years in the restaurant business, that's like seeing Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So I mean, congrats to that.
Yeah. So, but and that was the thing is now I changed my perspective, and I've dealt with failure. I now look at failure as not failure is just how you feel about something. It's not real. It's how you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, failure does not really exist. It's your ego that's fucking with you.
Yeah.
And then that's when you cloud your judgment and all that. So now, my mentality is we want failure to happen. And part of the rethinking and rebuilding of your own mindset was, hey, people are gonna do things that are gonna have not the outcome that they think is gonna happen.
Right.
And from that, we know what not to do, and we can try something else. So that's been how I look at things with my team. Like, I've had teams that, like, literally we've made, a $20,000 mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, a $100,000 mistake. Like, literally in business, like when you make your transition from not burning an egg or burning an omelet or burning a pizza is different when you have, $100,000 loss.
100%.
And you have to embrace that. It's part of the nature of doing business. Is you are going to have some, but what do you do with that?
Yeah, I mean, here's the good news. You've only been married once, so you didn't make that $100,000 mistake. There's a lot of truth to that, and I can see why when you got to a certain point evaluating your life and you're just like, I can't leave. You feel constricted. It's like, God, if something goes wrong, right?
Totally.
And the only thing going wrong really, and I say this not criticizing or questioning your feeling. I say it from a spot of understanding and I can relate, because it's kind of like what's going wrong is what's going on in your head.
Totally.
And it's like,
how you
wait a
play
minute.
it back.
Yeah. And it's like, anxiety is never, has never waited for anybody to.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's just wild.
Yeah. It is. And it's something that, one, I'm type A.
Yeah. So am I.
Driven. I want perfection. I want things right. I want excellence. Like those are great.
Yeah.
But all that stuff is paved with misery and pain and failure.
Mm-hmm.
But the misery and pain is how you deal with it. Like there are some people out there who like that are, killing it, that they are fundamental. Like there are people out there making $1 million mistakes and they don't give a shit. They just keep on going. It's the cost of doing business. Yeah, I lost $1 million, but I have $100 million company.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's a lot of restaurateurs that have lost millions of dollars opening up places, and they come back and they find the money to go do it again. And sometimes they're successful and sometimes they're not. I mean, there's a lot of that.
There is. I was very fortunate when I was at LGO that Bob had a relationship with Let Us Entertain You, the founder. I forget his name. Sorry. But I had a conversation with him in the car because I used to be Bob's driver when he would come into town. I pick him up at the airport, and I was driving, and I asked questions like, "Hey, how do you deal with like failure in restaurants?" And and he said, "You just keep going. You keep going." It's like I know Melman.
Melman, yeah, Rich Melman.
Rich Melman. He said, "Look, Doug, out of my 10 restaurants, I have 6 of them that are going to be profitable. 2 of them are losing money, and one's going to close down."
Yeah.
And so it's a matter of statistics. It's like, do you throw your hands up and you give up and I failed? Or do you know that statistically speaking, out of 10 restaurants, more than likely, 3 of them are going to be not where they need to be. Right. But do you keep going and work through it? So eventually you have 20 restaurants, and sooner or later, it's the law of averages.
For sure.
So you got to keep going.
You just find the formula that ends up working, and you build on that.
Yeah.
Well, with all that being said, let's talk about you personally. I know some of your hobbies. I know you love to mountain bike. I know you love going, up north. You built a place up north, and it looks absolutely beautiful from the online pictures. What are things that Doug likes to do? Whether it's, I don't know, going for walks, meditation, taking your wife to dinner, like what are those things that keep you sane, and what's your daily, what are your daily non-negotiables?
So I'm a pretty down to earth person. I love my routine. Especially, my routine has become very important. Yeah. And I just enjoy every day. I really, I go through my day. I talk to my team. I check out the restaurants. I have my list of things to do. But the things that recharge my batteries is taking care of myself. When I first opened Gallo, Gallo 1.0, I weighed like about 140 pounds. I was really skinny. Yeah. Not from working out, but just from stress and not eating. And then over time, I started consuming a lot. And when COVID hit, and I'm at home, and 2 months into COVID, man, I'm 5'6", and I was weighing closer to almost 170. Yeah. 168.
Been there.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? It's like, what am I doing? So I've had to really learn how to take care of the body. The body is super important. So I've become very strict with my consumption of food. And that's when exercise started happening. And I get bored going to the gym. I'll go to the gym and do my thing and all that. But I mean, it's kind of monotonous. What I love nature. My wife and I had been taking our kids to Greer since they were little. Always loved it. And so we bought a little piece of property with the intention of building something on it. So I go there and I literally will go on 4 or 5 mile, 6 mile, 7 mile hikes, and not just for the exercise, but you're going through the forest or you're going through a beautiful trail along the water, surrounded by nature. And it just centers you in a way that the city doesn't, I love the city life. Like at the end of the day, I love being able to go and pick up my matcha and,
Totally.
All those conveniences in Bianco.
But we got best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But when you go there, like I go there more than anything, I go there to check my thinking. When I'm getting too caught up in your surroundings with all the problems, with all the things, and then you go out there, and all of a sudden, that noise, you start realizing that noise is in your head, and then you start being present, like, oh my God, beautiful aspens and pine trees and this and that, and then you go back to your little cabin, and you prepare food. I love to entertain. Part of the reason why I wanted to be a chef is because I love people. I'm in the people business. I love to entertain and have people in my home.
Dude, those meals that you cooked on the boat for us, having you and Chamberlain on the same boat, it was a dream come true.
Dude, we have so much fun.
Yeah.
We have so much fun. But and that's the intention though. Like I think that what I look for when I go to a cabin, and I built the cabin also with a pretty nice kitchen. To be able to take my team there so they can share some of what I experienced there, to cook together, to R&D together, because I think creating recipes in your shop, it's nice and everything because you have all the tools there, but when it starts out in your home and you're doing it in that arena, that's what restaurants are supposed to be.
Bro, you're an artist. It's just like these music people that go to some haunted house or they go to Elvis's studio outside of the norm, right?
Totally.
You look at Red Hot Chili Peppers when they did Blood Sugar Sex Magic. That album's one of the most phenomenal records, not just for them, but ever. And it's in a different environment. The Beastie Boys, same thing.
You got to change your environment, And so that's been why I do what I do. And it's allowed me to really be present with my team because, I literally will go, once a month, I will go and spend 4 days, and sometimes by myself. Other times I'll, invite people to come and stay because I like to cook and I cook a lot of food. But, when I come back, I'm very present for my team. And then sure enough, 3 weeks into it, I'm all caught up in this and that and this, I got to take care of this or that. And then I'm not really focusing on what I need to be focusing. And I said, I need to disconnect because I need to reset the expectations. So,
do you have to, this is a legit question, do you have to pack lots of coolers if you're going to stay up there? Because there's not much for grocery up there, is there? Or have you found some niche little places where you can get, the good meats and the stuff?
So I get all my proteins from Phoenix. We have Nelson's Fish.
Yeah, it's great.
I'll stop by and pick up there. Arcadia Meat Market's right
Perfect.
around. So I go load up all my proteins. I'll go to Whole Foods, pick up the stuff that I know that I can't get out there.
Yeah.
But onions and garlic and the everyday stuff, I can get that.
Right.
And so I do pack a lot of stuff and do a lot of meal planning.
Yeah.
But I come back with recipes, that go into the restaurants.
Any of them have sweet corn? The Taylor sweet corn,
Oh
man.
yeah, oh so good, so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I mean, corn and hatch. The cabin is about 4 hours from Santa Fe.
Okay.
So my wife and I will literally like wake up in the morning at 5 in the morning and just we're there.
That's cool.
And we're eating, Santa Fe cuisine, which in Santa Fe is just Pasquale's, the Shed.
Yeah.
There's some just amazing restaurants. And it's about that exposure, like your chefs experience things through their mouths. If you
For
see
sure.
something on Instagram, you can't eat it. Yeah, it looks pretty, but when you eat it and it creates an emotional connection to the food that then now you have context.
And when you said Pasquale, I'd been there with my wife in Santa Fe. That was like the romantic
Isn't that the
little place
best?
to go
Yeah,
to. It's so
totally.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny you said. Do you what is it, Molly Bell's or whatever? Do you go eat the steak over there?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Then the Shed,
Yeah.
like the Shed is known for the very, very spicy enchiladas.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to be able to do that, the exploration.
That's really
super,
cool.
super important.
It's really cool. Well, before I let you go, I do want to do some rapid fire questions. But before that, I want you to just kind of talk about briefly just like each restaurant that you have now. What's kind of like a signature thing people could, be able to look out for? Just kind of promote yourself because these places are wonderful.
Thank you. So Otro Café is open breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Otro is known for their flour tortilla. We make the flour tortillas from scratch. The tacos are great. But we're really well known for our breakfast, our huevos rancheros, eggs and barbacoa, and our pancakes are, people consider them to be very special. And people always comment about the pancakes. Gallo is a little bit more Mexico City style. We make corn tortillas there. The lady that makes our corn tortillas from us does the traditional nixtamal process. I mean, it's totally legit. And we also do great brunch over there. And that one, I think the things that shine are like the ceviches. We have a ceviche de pescado that we make to order. We have the ceviche de camarón. And then we have this dish called the embuelto, which basically is we melt the cheese on a griddle and it gets toasted on the bottom.
Oh, God.
And then we stuff al pastor in it and wrap it up and serve it with pineapple and tortillas. It's like
Too close to lunch.
it's so good. And then our new restaurant Tesota is not Mexican cuisine. It's more global cuisine. It has a pizza oven. We have woks in there. We have a lot of fun toys.
Yeah.
And from there, we're really well known for the vegetable plates. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
We have a pretty large selection of vegetarian dishes. Like our charred cabbage, with the yogurt masala sauce.
Sounds amazing.
We roast the eggplant in the wood burning pizza oven, and serve it with a romesco sauce and pesto. Like in our pastas, we get stuff from Sonoran pasta. We use a lot of local ingredients. So I think all of our restaurants, the one thing that you will get is cooking from scratch. We use really good ingredients. So I think the quality and the value is always there.
Yeah.
And we tend to really become that neighborhood spot that you can go in and bring your family. We like large parties, don't scare us.
I love how you're experimenting into the world food, venture and people are grasping onto that. It's getting great reviews. I'm seeing a lot of stuff online. I also, I just had Toasted Owl in here. That's the podcast coming on before you. And then you have Bookman's over there. I mean, what a great little synergy and
It
just
is.
eclectic sort of play.
It is. I love the history of the Newton.
Yeah.
Where it's at. It used to be the old beef eaters.
Yep.
It was like a staple in Arizona, and with changing hands being there in Toasted Owl, there's independent businesses.
Yeah.
And the synergy's there, and I love the fact that the neighborhood embraces us and has, come out and support, because I don't do paid marketing or advertising. I have to do everything word of mouth. And
For sure.
and I want to build something for the neighborhood. It's good to have a destination restaurant, but you also need to make sure the people around there is accessible for them, because they're going to be your most loyal customer.
100%. No, that's great. That's grassroots marketing, just like what I did when I worked for Warner Brothers. You're handing out flyers on getting people to play a CD. That area will always be local, because we know who Lorenzo's married to.
yeah, absolutely.
Great landlord. Okay, that's totally amazing. Thank you so much for just kind of chatting about your life and all those things. I have some rapid fire questions if you're ready. What would be like, I guess I'm going to call it a secret ingredient, but obviously it's not going to be a secret if you talk about it, but like, what's like that secret ingredient you would suggest for somebody to like utilize in their day-to-day cooking that they wouldn't even think about?
So, I'm a big fan of chili. I think that you can do a lot with chili, especially if you're more like vegetarian, even if you're not.
Yeah.
But it depends on what you're cooking. Like I will give you a little secret here. If you're making pancakes at home, add sour cream to it.
Really?
And then increase the amount of egg in it.
Okay.
And one, you're reducing the amount of flour, and you're making it more nutritious. But you're also going to make the most moist, delicious pancake you'll ever have.
It's more protein based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. I love that. Okay. Mountain bike or hike?
That's a toughie. Well, I'm gonna go with hike.
You can go both. I mean,
I love the hikes.
Okay.
It's
Tony be mad at you? We got to shout out to Tony.
No, not at all.
I love your brother.
Not at all. The one thing about mountain biking is I've had some spills in the last few years, because I am an adrenaline junkie.
And because you're old.
and because I'm old. But that adrenaline junkie, at 53, you don't bounce back.
No.
You're not made of rubber. So I'm a lot more conscious about safety. I still do trails, but I choose my trails to be, smooth. I love Brown's Ranch.
Yes, that's where I biked with you and Aaron. And dude, Aaron's like a little, like, he just has that mechanism within inside him.
Totally.
Like, dude.
Totally. Yeah, no, but I love both. But hiking has been what I've been doing a lot more of.
Yeah, that's cool. I can't wait to go out and hike with you.
Yeah.
Corn or flour tortillas?
Both. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I have to have both.
Yeah. Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a sweet tooth?
Big time.
Yeah, so do I.
Big time.
It's a problem.
It is.
I only get one day a week to just gouge out. Have you been to Eva's?
I haven't.
Bro.
Gotta check it out.
Yeah, it's in Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Somebody told me about it.
It's amazing.
I gotta go.
We're going there on Saturday.
I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Awesome.
Seriously, if you want to meet me there, that'd be great. Phoenix sunrise or Mexico City sunset?
Phoenix sunrise.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sunsets and sunrises in Arizona are special.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, you're basically a native. This is your home. Mm-hmm. It's really endearing. Indoor dining or patio vibes?
Both. Either one.
Yeah.
I don't care where I sit.
Yeah.
I enjoy restaurant spaces. Obviously I love the design aspect of restaurants. So sitting in a beautiful patio or sitting in a beautiful dining room, either one works for me.
Yeah. Street tacos or fancy plated dishes?
Street tacos. Yeah, for sure.
What is the magic about street tacos? I think it's the simplification, right? Is really the magic?
I mean, it's the perfect food.
It really is.
Like you have your starch, you have your protein, and sometimes a little vegetable.
Oh, pickled onions.
The pickled onions, the escabeche.
Yeah.
But, there's something about a guy that's right across from you. What would you like? And I'll take 2 tacos de carne de cabeza or whatever, whatever taco you fancy.
Yeah.
And he's making it right there. And it's just so warm to have the person making your food handed to you.
So
you know, and they're fast. Like I've seen some of these taqueros in Mexico City. What they do is like, you ever seen those teppanyaki chefs?
Huh?
Like these guys are equally as talented,
Yeah.
and they're so fast. I've been to LA. If you go to La Brea and Venice Boulevard, there's a Al Pastor taco truck.
Yeah.
And these guys will be there, and they slice the meat, and then the piña, the pineapple, is sitting up top, and they'll slice it and catch it on their taco, and they do this like 4,000 times a night, and every time they just like
They must have big forearms.
it's art. It's really
Yeah, it is.
you know, it's the mechanics. It's like they could probably do it with their eyes closed, and I see beauty in somebody that can be that proficient in something.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. Now that you're hiking a lot and you're out in the woods, Bigfoot or bears?
Well, you know, for bragging rights, I would love to see Bigfoot. Bragging rights, if I walk away from it.
Okay.
Bears, you know, I always carry bear spray, but you know I'm always reluctant to see an animal of that size.
Yeah.
You know, I've come across coyotes and that kind of stuff, rattlesnakes and all that. And while it does kind of like throw you off and put you on guard, I don't know if I'm ready for a bear. So let's stick with Bigfoot.
We'll stick with Bigfoot. All right, last question. Motley Crüe or Whitesnake?
Ooh, Motley Crüe.
Okay. Favorite Motley Crüe?
Yeah. Motley Crüe songs. Wow. Jeez, it's been so long since Motley Crüe.
Dr. Feelgood, Home Sweet Home.
Oh, well, that's...
Kickstart My Heart.
What was their first album?
Shout at the Devil.
Shout at the Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was back when Rat, remember Rat?
Oh, dude,
man.
Rat's one of my favorites. He's
Yeah.
on my Instagram.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's funny.
He sent me like a
Yeah.
50th birthday party message. I was just like, and anyways,
In middle
it's
school, I was
another story.
like, once
Lay
I
it down. Oh,
did. Once I became adapted to the American culture, like in middle school, dude, I was wearing the tight jeans,
Yeah.
the long hair, the you know, just full rock and roll, you know, pierce the ears, you know. I loved rock and roll. That was like the one thing that really connected me with friends at that point.
100%. Probably got you into music. I mean, that
Totally.
80s stuff, I can go into a whole tirade on that forever.
Yeah,
and-
Dawkins,
Oh, God.
Aerosmith.
All
yeah.
of it.
Yeah,
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I selfishly want to hear those old bands that are still alive come out with new records thinking that it's going to be like a hidden gem that can't, you know, and now I'm just kind of waiting for Eddie Van Halen's, you know, team to release stuff that hadn't been released
Yeah.
before. You just kind of, you hold on to that like hope, kind of
It
like when
is.
Star Wars came out,
Yeah.
they had all the new stuff and now it's going to be really weird with AI and whether or not we can, be okay with the fact that let's just say Van Halen puts out another record and let's say they utilize AI to, you know, fill in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
Like I talk to myself and I say, am I okay with this? Or do I just listen and kind of like it's a hard place to be, you know?
Very few musicians can carry a long career in music.
Yeah.
And you know, like there's something to be said about like Motley Crüe, Van Halen, some of these, you know, juggernauts of that made, you know, music history. They were young, full of angst, and there's just that angst and energy that bleeds through the speakers. You hear that, and that's magical. And there, obviously, you know, as you get older, you softened, and you
So true.
you know, you live the good life. You know.
Yeah.
And you lose some of that edge. There's nothing wrong with that, but you know, I do think that for some musicians, you know, like Bob Dylan, like you just the list goes on. You know, in the early career, that's the pinnacle of their career. They have a creative new perspective. They're still naive to the world.
Right.
They're still driving under that this is like my world. I have something to say. It is not the same as what everybody else is saying. And that's what stands them out. And if you can maintain some of that,
Yeah.
you know, in our, like, fortunately for chefs, we can evolved, and we can stay, and we have a longer longevity. But the music business is a young man's business,
for sure.
but it should be relished.
It should be relished.
It should be relished.
In those they're time capsules
Totally.
at that point. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. This has been great. I've been looking forward to this.
Thanks for having me,
I'm
brother.
excited to share this. Yeah, for sure. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please subscribe, give it a 5-star. Go enjoy your lives. Have fun. Go check out Doug's restaurants. Please eat, shop local. You'll eat there. You'll eat whatever you want, and you'll feel good. Trust me, I've done it a zillion times. And also, just a reminder that we do have our Built Different community. That's live now. I'll have that in the show notes. But also, I'll have all of Doug's restaurant information, his connections, all that stuff in the show notes. And until next time, peace out.